Well, welcome to the Super Earth podcast. This is a Helldivers 2 podcast. I'm DB, one of your hosts. I'm joined by Snuff and Bacon. Say hi, guys.
Hello there.
Hi, guys.
And today, pretty
We have a special
exciting.
guest.
Yeah, we have a special guest. Introduce yourself, Melatonin Madman.
Yeah, that's me. To you on the server, you probably know me better as Mela now, but well, most of you probably know me more as Smelly. And that's a weird one, but we don't talk about that.
We don't talk about that anymore.
All right, so how's it been, guys? How's Helldivers been this week?
Pretty good, I would say. Finally entering the gloom again.
Oh yeah.
Now, I'll be honest, this week I've been sitting on my ass all week, so I'm a little behind.
I mean, ass is pretty comfy, so what can you say?
Indeed.
I've actually been playing the game a little bit more than I normally have, and I will say I've been liking, I've said it for the last 4 episodes probably, but I've been liking the new update a lot. And a funny thing is that I played level 7 yesterday, and it was like for the first time in many months I playing something that wasn't super Helldive, so I was actually able to have fun. No, but because it was level 7, I wasn't like going crazy hard. Like I switched out my main like weapons that I use, and I used the stalwart. Because it was level 7, I was able to use the stalwart, which really like that gun. Normally, I don't have an excuse to use it, so when I have an excuse, I want to pull it out. And because that eruptor got buffed and the incendiary grenades are so good for anti-tank, it allows you to use something else. You don't have to rely on a anti-tank weapon as your stratagem. But yeah, so Melatonin, how's it been, man? When did you start playing Helldivers?
Oh, we're getting right into it, huh?
We're getting into it, yeah.
Favorite hell dive right away.
Yeah. So I actually I'd like completely quit shooters before this game came out, and it was like, cause what, it dropped in February of last year, I believe. My brothers actually wanted to try it out, but I was, telling them no, because I didn't want to play shooters anymore. But they kind of convinced me, so like a week after the game came out, I gave it a shot, and well, now I play it way too much, so. you can guess that I'd say it worked out. So
okay, and also
Yep.
you have been featured on the podcast before. I think at least one of the episodes that we did a top 5 team kills, and I I think you made my list for when you asked. I think you asked Darth Wraith in the back of the head.
oh yeah, those that wasn't even one of the good ones, man. You should have been around before. No, I've even when Mike and Lito were hosting the pod, I was brought up a couple times. So I've been around for a while.
That's awesome. What would you say would be one of your favorite episodes from them?
Oh, from them?
Yeah.
God, I couldn't tell you. I just look. I sit at work with my headphones in all day, and I just put it on repeat when I get bored. So I couldn't tell you an episode name. They just kind of mold all together. So I don't know. I just like whenever they're on the mic. Really.
Oh yeah.
I mean, obviously you guys are just as good, right? But,
Sure.
I like the OGs. That's all I gotta say.
So in the Discord, actually, I like. Well, and by the way, this is a good excuse to say join the Discord. If you guys aren't already in it, join it, because we get a lot of input from the Discord we end up using in an episode. But one of the channels, I think it was Aether. I think he was posting like updates on like what he thinks Arrowhead should add to the game. And one of the cool things he was talking about, it was he posted like a map, like a proof of concept map, and you on one half of the map you saw a bunch of like red dots, and the other half of the map you saw a whole bunch of blue dots. And like the idea is he described it as being kind of like a front line where you know, you still have a lot of the same objectives, but you can actually get a front row seat at like the galactic war ongoing, where like front lines are being pushed back and being pushed forward and backward and stuff, and still being able to do objectives. Are there any? What have you guys been seeing? Like, are there any cool ideas that you'd like to see put in the game?
I saw one on Instagram that I think Snuff might like. It's called the MDB33 Hive Mine. And it's a mine layer pod that deploys a swarm of defensive drones which surround a perimeter from above. It's like secret grenades, but only for 20 seconds.
I see. No, I wouldn't like that.
No.
Makes the game too easy. Already
Yeah.
too easy.
Well, and a lot of these.
No, I do think it's a good idea. I just think people would exploit it a little bit.
Yeah.
A lot of these little, I mean, it's fun to talk about, and I like to bring it up because there are so many good ideas out there. You know, there's almost always a case to be made where, oh, that's too difficult for the developers, or oh, it's game breaking, or oh, that just doesn't fit with the game itself. Something that I've seen in another game. So I used to play Sea of Thieves a lot, and I recently hopped on for a day and was playing with my brother, and they added the Man of War, which is something the community was talking about for years. But they didn't just in Sea of Thieves you have like a 2-man ship, a 3-man ship, or a 4-man ship. A Man of War is like a 10-man ship, and obviously Sea of Thieves they couldn't have just added that in, but the solution they came up was so creative that it's a Man of War that you can see out in, and it's like it's pirated by ghosts like NPCs, so AI, like the computer runs them. But if you defeat it, then you can take over that Man of War, and then you can like man it. And there's such a thing as alliances, so you can have like your alliance mates on it with you. But another thing that I've seen for Helldivers where they could incorporate something like that is like an APC or like a tank type thing, which is an armored personnel carrier. And I've seen a screenshot of this. I don't remember if I saw it in the Discord or like TikTok or something. But essentially, it's like an APC that you find in game, and you can only use it for that mission. You can't call it in, and once it's destroyed, it's destroyed. But I feel like something like that could be really good to add.
That'd be cool.
Could be pretty cool.
Yeah, imagine like running across a main battle tank. That'd be so cool to see a tank, dude. It would be.
Tanks would be really cool.
It'd be way overpowered, but I was gonna say it might present a challenge for bugs, because a bug might overtake a tank really easy.
Yeah, and like further on when we get more difficulties and they ramp up the war more of these overpowered weapons that some of them we already have, some we're gonna get probably at some point. But at some point when the war escalates more, we're gonna see them becoming more balanced than they would be if they introduced them now. Because if you didn't introduce them now, you just wipe the whole map pretty much. You might get swarmed if you're not used to it, but you will probably clean the map pretty well with it.
That's a fair point.
But after a while, but when they ramp it up, I think they will be more balanced.
Yeah, that's a really good point. But also with the addition of, they added like the patrols of factory striders. It's like I would love to see a tank that maybe like a half destroyed tank you could hop in and like man the gun of and then start taking out factory striders. Maybe that's the way to balance it. Is it like the tracks are destroyed so you can't move, but you can operate the turret?
Yeah, for example, that would work. Like
and that could work on like a front lines mission too. You have any ideas, Melatonin? You haven't seen anything you've been seeing?
Well, I mean, everything I wanted been put in the game already. So.
Oh yeah, like what?
Although I like the weird, stupid, like small stuff. Like I always thought, no, more like the shovel. Actually, I remember when the game first came out. I'm like, there's a dude at a grave with a shovel. Why can't I pick that up and just start beating the tar out of?
Yo, 100%.
Well, and then that got in. And then things like just small things like the fire turret. Well, I was a proponent for the fire guard dog, but I'd say that the turret's pretty close.
Oh, so we don't have a fire guard dog?
No, we don't.
That would be so cool.
Not
It would
yet,
be.
at least.
Until it hits you, yeah. But
Yeah.
the this is my weird one, but the only one I'm looking forward to is I want to just drive the forklift around. Is that weird?
Yes.
I would love that.
No, I like that a lot.
I mean, I
That's
am
good.
forklift certified after
I
all.
mean, yeah, how are the Helldivers not forklift certified? I mean, I get it, 5 minutes of training, but like you can give me another 5 to drive that thing around, I'll do it.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, if they actually add that possibility, they should add that to tutorial that you can drive a forklift
Yes.
in the tutorial.
Dude, you guys would catch me doing some stupid stuff with that thing.
Dude,
Oh,
that would be funny as
you armed the
fuck.
hell bomb? Oh, don't worry. I'll just drag it over there myself.
Or you drive up to a tank and put the forks
Oh.
underneath it and flip it over.
So what I would want to do, the most spectacular death I could imagine having in this game would be I've got my Hellbomb backpack, I arm it, I get in the forklift, I drive head first into that bug nest. No, who's gonna stop me, right? Who's gonna stop me? I am a mobile bomb.
Yeah,
Yeah,
That's
you are.
great.
I
And
just
it's a
want I
gas-powered forklift as well. It's the
I
bomb
just-
itself as well.
know, fueled by bugs.
Put the forklift in. Melatonin's gonna be a menace.
Oh, dude, I would probably never get out. I probably wouldn't. You'd have to blow them up before I got in.
We were playing today, and I was like, man, I really want to drive this car around. Like, there was a little electric vehicle, white car that looked like a
Yeah, I know,
EV
right?
Hummer. But yeah, actually, I had seen this, and I don't know how long this has been in the game, but the supply pod's getting a machine gun. Did we talk about this last episode?
That was a couple more months ago that was added.
It was added a while ago, but I don't think we have talked about it.
Yeah, because I was playing with Bacon, and we threw down a supply pod. I didn't even think about it, but I start hearing a machine gun going, and I look, and there's a machine gun on top of a supply pod. I'm like, when did they add this into the game?
You know, it came out with. What did it came out with? The when Illuminus came, wasn't it?
I don't know. You're the pro.
It honestly might be before that.
It might be, but I think it was introduced with the Urban Legends ones. Honestly,
Maybe.
the Urban Legends War Bond. I think it came with that.
Now, when it got first put out, were people using it a lot?
Oh yeah,
And it's
Well,
like a
yeah, just
booster.
like anything else.
yeah. It's a booster that applies Liberator on top of the supply pod.
Okay, that is pretty funny and pretty cool and unnecessary, but I love it.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's really nice though, because it's basically an extra set of guns.
Yeah.
So and it also so high up that compared to regular turrets, it won't headshot you and shoot you in the torso and so on. So it usually doesn't hit you at all because it's so high up.
Do you happen to know how much ammo it has or how long? Can it last like a full mission? Like,
No, it doesn't last a full mission. I mean, it can if it doesn't shoot.
I think it's comparable to the generic
I think it's the same as the
turret that
guard
you
dog.
get. Or a guard dog? Oh, that actually might be.
Yeah, I think it's the same as the regular guard dog with the Liberator pen. And the nice thing about it is that even though if you grab all the supply packs, it will still stand there and be a turret. So it won't go away like supply pods usually do.
oh, that is pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's a little silly, but it is very cool. And that's a good example of like things that they could have added, and they did. They're like, yeah, why don't we do this? And they did.
I mean, why not?
So add a tank.
Had a forklift.
Give me a tank. Or add a forklift. give me the kill dozer. Give me a forklift with armor.
I still want that unicycle that I've talked about before, though.
What?
A unicycle. That's
I want
that's
a
a unique one.
I want to ride around on a unicycle with a laser cannon.
Like if that's the case, you might as well just be able to jump on my shoulders and I carry you around. You know?
I mean,
Ooh,
why
that would be
not?
fun.
Why not? Why not piggyback? Piggyback emote.
Oh my god. You hear
Carry
that? You hear
down
that,
soldiers,
Arrowhead?
yeah.
We're throwing ideas at you for free. Just you know, you know.
So, Snuff, you have been talking about some things that
Oh, I
you're
have,
either
yeah. I
getting
have
or
some
about
other
to
things that
get.
I'm excited about.
Yeah, let us know what's up.
So, first of all, I got my vinyl record today. I've literally done nothing else than just sitting and listening to the Helldivers music all day from a vinyl recorder.
That's awesome.
So, an official
Yeah.
Helldivers 2 vinyl record?
Yeah.
That's
What
awesome.
was it? You checked the US price was like $40, wasn't it? Mela?
For the vinyl.
Yeah.
Here in the U.S., terrorists be damned. It's $40. So
Yeah. So it's the same in Europe then. So Europe, US, same prices, $40. Worth it. Go buy it, guys. I don't care if you have a vinyl recorder or not. Buy it. It's democratic. Yeah, and then it's the most important thing. I'm just gonna pull up my right tab here.
Is that what you were playing when you hopped into the Discord earlier today?
Yeah,
Did
my
you
entrance
have-
sound is the
did you-
Helldivers team song.
You had your Helldivers 2 vinyl at full
Yeah.
blast when you hopped in the Discord
No,
call?
I just have my entrance sound set to the Helldivers team song.
Oh.
But now it's over to the nerdy part. And
Yeah, and that's not the only
pen-
thing that you're getting or
Yeah.
you've got, right? There's two other things.
yeah. Fanatical compliance is mandatory, guys. It's the time for the Helldivers board game. So, it's been out in the news a long time now that the board game is coming. My girlfriend ordered it for me. I told her not to, but I wanted to buy it myself anyway. But it's really nice of her. But this game looks so much fun. It's like a mix of Warhammer and Monster Hunter, I would say, like the tabletop versions. And to say it this way, I need a bigger table, like a way bigger table.
That's cool.
'Cause
Is there expansion packs too?
Yes, I'm getting to that. So the base game is basically they published a 3-hour long video where they play it to show off how the game works. And for each person that is in the game, you will spawn in with one tile per person that you have discovered. And as you move on, you just keep on adding more and more tiles to the map. So you need a big table for this, or the floor, You can use the floor as well.
Yeah.
And like you have finisher moves, you have stratagems, you have different weapons, you have different class. Like, they say the play time is like 120 to 180 minutes, but you can probably make it way longer than that as well, depending on what happens. It's 1 to 4 players, like the regular game. It's pretty true to the regular game. You have to actually type in the stratagems, and there's a limited amount of stratagem arrows on the stratagem pad that you get. So when you type in a stratagem, you have like little blocks with your color that you place on the arrows that you use. So if someone has filled up the arrows you need, you cannot call in your stratagem that round. You have to wait to the next round, which is really interesting. Makes it a little bit hard.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
But dude, this thing, the figurines are so fucking detailed.
Is your girlfriend gonna play it with you? Who are you gonna play with?
100%. I'm also gonna invite all the Discord over to my place and have a gaming session, you know.
I'll bring the bacon.
You guys, yeah, bring the bacon. DB, bring the camera, I guess, since you're a cameraman. But yeah, there are 3 different ways you can back this. Or like 3 different levels of backing, and the whole is like kind of like a Kickstarter, but it's in Game Found. So the whole project was backed in 12 minutes and 20 seconds, like the whole thing.
Wow.
That took them 12 minutes. And currently, they are on. Let me just switch out over to American dollars so you can understand how much money this is. So currently, the fund backing is at $1,391,739.
Damn.
Wow.
And this is with 4,500 backers. That's it.
Oh my
Jesus.
gosh.
So people have been buying like the top dog that you can pledge to. You have the 3 different ones. You have the Commander pledge, which is the regular one. You have the Galactic Commander, which is the medium one, and the Hell Commander. The regular Commander pledge is $81.68. The regular base game. Galactic Commander is $123.20. And then the Hell Commander, the big one, is $329.42. And so for the first one, the Commander Pledge, you get just the base game, nothing else. On the Galactic Commander Pledge, you get 2 secret things. We have no idea what it is yet, but you also get Patriot exosuits to use in the game. Now, the Hell Commander Pledge that I'm getting, you get the Terminids, you get the Bile Titan, you get the Automatons with the Factory Strider, you get the Patriot exosuits, you get the Impaler, and also the 2 secret ones.
Uh-oh.
And I have no clue what it is. It might be the Illuminates. They haven't added the Illuminates officially to this, as far as I know, and that's probably because they haven't launched in the game with a full army yet. There's too few enemies,
Right.
so that's probably why. But yeah, you have D20 dices, you have D6 dices, you have D7 dices. You have a lot of different dices to play this. Like, this is a very advanced game. This is a nerdy game. Like, every enemy takes up a certain amount of space on each tile. Like the charger takes up four squares on each tile. Bile Spear takes up two squares on the tile. They are big. They are pretty accurate to the size. Now, I do think the Bile Titan is going to take up a whole tile, like all 9 tiles on each tile. So on one tile, there's 9 squares, basically, to move around on. And I think the Bile Titan is big enough to take up all of those 9 squares. Because it's 21 centimeters. It's almost a foot wide.
Now the question is how fast are you gonna get to level 150 at the board game?
We'll see. We'll see. Because you can, like, you have, like, currently there's 4 main Helldivers. You have the Captain, you have the Heavy, you have the Sniper, and the Pyro. Those are the 4 main ones. But they have also, as the pledge goes on now, they keep adding more and more Helldivers. They added some. I would need to pull up my mail for this, actually, because I get the notifications there. Let's see here. But yeah, like the Captain gets the AR-23 Liberator. It gets the Guard Dog backpack. It gets the standard armor, standard issue armor. The Heavy get the recoilless rifle, the SG-25 breaker, and the heavy armor with fortified. The Sniper gets the railgun and the R-53 diligence, and also have fortified light armor, I believe. And the pyro, which Mela probably will play, gets the flamethrower.
Well,
You also get the crisper as your secondary.
Hey.
You get the scorcher as your main. And you get incendiary grenades in that one. You also get
Wow.
Eagle Napalm Strike, Rocket Sentry, and the Eagle 500 on the pyro. But yeah, they adding more and more. I'm very excited about it. I'm gonna nerd out a huge amount when I get it. Just need to order a new table.
That's awesome, man.
Do you-
When you've played Helldivers so much that you do you need another game to play it?
Yeah, they did something really nice though, because for people that don't have enough money to buy the whole game right away, you can split it up into several payments, so you can pay a small amount at a time,
nice.
which is really nice. Now, what I was going to do was going to check how many people are actually pledged to the different ones.
Hmm.
So, of that 4,500 people, there's about 300 people who has pledged to the standard version, the Commander pledge. About 600 people who has pledged to the Galactic Commander, the medium one. And about 3,600 people that is pledged to the Hell Commander one. Everyone's
my
getting that one.
Oh, that's
and if
amazing.
you want to, you can also add extra. Like, I'm considering this very much like buying extra expansion packs, so I can have 2 expansion packs for the boss, 2 for the bugs, for example, because then I can make my own super hell dive. Even though there are already 3 difficulties in the game, you have easy, normal, and hard, or hell
But
dive,
you want
or whatever you want
double.
to call it. Yeah, I want nightmare fuel to this.
Do you know when they're going to be shipping it out, or?
It's from this point when we're recording, it's 10 days left to pledge. Like this, it was a
Okay.
14-day pledge timeline for this, so it's 10 days left.
Okay.
So if you want it, or at least back, you can probably buy it afterwards, but you probably don't get the extra secret stuff.
Or you
but
have
yeah,
to
10
pay
days
full
left.
price, yeah.
Yeah, and that as well. But yeah, as you keep on exploring, let's say you're 2 people playing, that means you have explored 2 tiles from the beginning. And when you get to the edge of one tile, and you step out of that tile, you have to add another tile. So you pick a random tile from the tile pile, and there's arrows on the tiles. So you have to line up those arrows with another arrow on that tile, and yet it also has to line up so you can actually step onto that tile. Because it doesn't have to be like edge to edge, you can move it around so it actually lines up the arrow, but you still have to be able to step on it. If you can't step on it, you have to just place it based on what is best for the enemy, not yourself. Because when you play this, you obviously have to control the enemies as well and how they play, so you have to think about that as well. So you basically have to be Joel in this game.
So, when you pull a new tile, how does the tile tell you how many enemy cards to pull or how many things to pull?
Yes. So each tile has a certain amount of, for example, points of interest or bug nest or something like that, and you will take the tile, look at how many points it is, and then pull a random point of interest marker and put on the point of interest place, and then pull out a random kind of nest or base for the automatons and place there. And you don't know what it is until you pull the card, and it can be anything. It can be a heavy nest, it can be a light nest, and so on. So it's all random, so you can't decide. And there is objectives that you have to finish. The fire, for example, lasts for so long. You have supplies. You have a certain amount of ammo that you have to discard when you use it. Same with grenades, so on. You have different wounds. So if you get hit, you draw a wound card. So you can either get like For example, you use extra ammo when you shoot, or you move slower, or you're bleeding, and so on. And same for the enemy. So when you shoot an enemy, they will also get a wound. And when you collect enough wounds on that enemy, they can die. But most of the bigger enemies have survival check. So basically, you have to toss a dice for the enemy, and if it doesn't land on the right number, it will survive, and it will also remove one wound if it survives.
So is that how like Warhammer works? Is you throw a little die? Because that sounds like a D&D thing.
Yeah, as I said, it's kind of like a mix of different games. Like most games like this has dice in some way or another, just to have some randomness to it. Because if you don't, you can just do whatever you want. Because the dice, like you have to, for example, to kill something, depending on the enemy. Some enemies have like you have to roll a 6 or higher to kill them when they have the finisher on the survival check, or some has like 10 or higher depending on the dice. So I haven't played much Warhammer, but I do believe they have dice there as well to play it. But also Dungeons and Dragons has dice as well. It's like a mix between different games, I would say.
That's cool. Sounds pretty fun.
And you can also customize your characters, like the actual game.
Oh, cool.
So if you want something else than the Liberator, for example, you can customize them. And they're all, I think they're 3D printer, but it could also be resin figurines, but they're all very high quality figurines.
Well, so you were saying that there was a flamethrower troop in the card game, and you were saying Melatonin was gonna play that one. Are you a flamethrower guy, Mela?
Not necessarily, but it's preferred for sure. Yeah. Fire's cool, man.
We were playing today, and you had that flamethrower, and it was pretty awesome.
Well, I mean, I was just trying out that new hover pack, and then raining fire down upon my enemies. You know?
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, at some point in the game, there was extra flamethrower on the ground, and I picked it up because I didn't have my normal equipment, and I do need to use that flamethrower more often, man. It was very like satisfying to use.
I mean, hey, it's good. Illuminates, bugs. It does get harder to use, kind of the higher you go up in the difficulties, though, just because you get so overwhelmed that, I mean, they'll walk through the fire anyways. They don't care half the time, but
Yeah.
it's fun. It's one of the more satisfying weapons, yeah, like you said.
Yeah, was it a good combo with the hover pack? And what is that hover pack? How does it work?
Well, it does exactly as advertised. It hovers. I don't know. We were just playing on lower difficulties, weren't we? What was that? A medium, I think. 3?
Yeah, level 3.
So, until we get maybe like a 7, a suicide, or higher, I won't really be able to give you some good data, but I'll find out sooner or later.
So I got the different updates for the backing pull up now.
Okay.
Right.
So we are getting at least 2 more characters. One of them is the artillerist, which you will get the autocannon with that one. And you'll also get the dominator and the ultimatum. I know there's a lot of ultimatum users out there, and the termite grenade. And that one you also get the autocannon sentry, the orbital 120, and the orbital 380. It's basically pure artillery. And we're also getting the engineer, which will come with the ballistic shield, the SMG-37 Defender, the P-113 Verdict, the expendable anti-tank, so they eat. And you also get the secret grenades on that one. I'm gonna be interested to see how that works.
Oh yeah.
You get the Gatling Center and the Tesla Tower as well on that one. And these are all like full out detailed figurines as well. So you don't just get the cards, you get the figurines. And those are like the two new things that have been unlocked, like officially. But we're also getting emotes. And then we get the raise the weapon, finger guns, and the flex for emotes for now.
Wait, what? You get emotes?
Yeah, we're getting emotes.
How does that work? Is it just a card with an emote on it? Does it play into the game at all? I'm so confused.
Let's see here.
From what it looked like you had to do a special thing like reinforce your teammates or kill a Bile Titan to play it.
Oh.
Yeah, so here it says for an example. If on the finger guns, if you reinforce another friendly Helldiver, you can play the finger guns emote card to gain 2 reload tokens. After which the finger guns card will be returned to the game box.
Oh.
That's cool.
Yeah. And the flex one you can use when you destroy a nest. You may play this card, it says. And the raise the weapon. If you kill an enemy using a finisher weapon, you may play this card.
You know, that does bring up a good point about the vanilla, like the base game that is, I feel like is nice in the board game, that you can reinforce your squad's mates, because that, I for some reason, I think I forgot that existed, but that as a game mechanic, I think is so cool for a board game.
Yeah, it's really cool. And like when you extract, when the extraction is ready, for example, when you have done all the objectives, extraction comes down automatically, right? So to make like a virtuality that it actually happens that way in the game as well, when the extraction token drops down onto the board, you have 10 rounds left to get to extraction. You have to get there within 10 rounds.
Okay.
But like one round per person can last like 10 minutes.
Oh dang.
Take your time. So yeah. But yeah, when I get this, all you guys gonna come over. We're gonna play it.
Oh, 100%.
And you have to play the vinyl while you're there, while you're playing.
Yes.
it.
Dude, that one's
yes.
repeat all the time.
Now the only thing is, now we need sound effects for like the guns and explosions and stuff.
Oh, don't worry, I have guns here as well, so I can just fire those. Add some realism.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, that's
awesome.
my little nerd out.
That's so cool.
Well, I actually think it's about that. Oh, did you have something you wanted to get into?
Yeah, I bet some people are wondering, like, why are these guys that are like level 150, 80 playing on level 3 dives? Well, that's because I joined PC Squad. I'm no longer on PlayStation 5. Well, I am
Welcome
on PlayStation.
to the PC Master Race.
Thank you. But now I have to go through all the basic training again and get used to how to use a keyboard. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm having fun so far from the couple rounds I've played. Feels like starting a new Minecraft world.
I mean, I've honestly considered getting a PlayStation just to get the experience of starting over again.
Yeah, and you're diving in all the way too. You're making a switch all the way from controller to keyboard, right?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
I'm playing on PC, but trust me, I still have my controller hooked up to the game. So I just can't, man. The keys don't work with my brain.
You know,
Yeah,
Helldivers does seem like a good game to use controller with. Have you experienced that? Is it like better with the controller?
Yes and no. It's easier for like calling in stratagems because your hands don't have to move as far. When you're driving the recon vehicle, it's nice. You can also have slight movements rather than fully moving left or fully moving right. You can move it like 5% left because it's a stick. But
Yeah.
what makes it hard is aiming. With a mouse, you can move it as fast as you want to whatever point to make easy flicks, turn around really quickly. On controller, you can't do that. It's just a steady, I'm turning this way at this speed. So it's really personal preference, and I think I do prefer being able to turn around really quickly and run away because I am scared.
I mean,
I mean,
I can turn around pretty quickly. You just gotta max out all the sensitivity settings, you know?
I mean, I would say like in general, there are more advantages to play on PC with a keyboard and mouse than there is with
Mhm.
controller, but it is mostly a personal preference in the end. But
Well,
once you get used to keyboard and mouse, you can do everything faster and better on keyboard and mouse and be more accurate.
yeah, and
Right.
But it is a personal preference.
I think for most shooter games, it's 100% PC is just easier to aim and all that. But I was
Mhm.
thinking Helldivers 2 is one of the few games where you are running around. It's third person. You have to call in stratagems. Like, I feel like
Yeah.
out of any of the shooters, it's probably Gears of War, Helldivers 2 are probably better for controller.
Right.
Maybe not.
Especially
Maybe not
since
better,
it's
but better than other games.
Yeah.
yeah. Especially since
It's more
it's
balanced.
PvE. It's not player versus player. You're not going up against people who have keyboards. You're going up against bugs who don't have opposable thumbs.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it's one of the more balanced game where it's fairly balanced between keyboard and mouse and controller. Like as I said, keyboard and mouse always gonna have the upper hand, like no matter what game you play, just because of how it is.
Right.
But this one is fairly balanced out. Like if people are good with a controller, they can be almost as good as someone that is good with a keyboard and mouse.
Yeah, and I've heard of like I have a friend who played like Star Citizen, and whenever he got into a ship, he was saying it would be easier to play the actual ship portion with a controller. It just worked better for him, but then everything else he would use a keyboard and mouse for.
Yeah, like when you have a stick or a joystick or something like that, you move like if you're turning around just with your movement keys, you get a smoother movement on a controller than you do on a keyboard.
Right.
Keyboard will be more choppy, but you can overcome that once you get used to using a keyboard and mouse more, because then you just use your mouse to look around. You just hold forward and then you just use your mouse to turn.
Yeah, and I think it takes a little bit to get used to it, but I do think keyboard
Yeah.
and mouse is just better.
Yeah, like I said, he's always gonna have the upper hand. That's just how it is. Like physically, you have more buttons available to you, so you can customize it to your liking. You can have a smaller keyboard, so it's shorter to get to things. You can have like a gaming keyboard, like I have. You have extra buttons as well that is right next to my pinky, so I can just push those to, for example, throw a grenade or stratagem or something, instead of having to use my mouse for everything.
Yeah. All right, so the top 5 segment for this week is top 5 overhyped equipment or stratagems. Basically, anything in the game that's overhyped. So, who wants to go first? Do we have the guests go first?
Oh, God, pressure's up. Honor me.
Honor the
Oh,
guest
okay.
with it.
Oh, right. Cool.
Let's do it.
I'm starting at 5 and going down. Is that,
Yes,
is that
sir.
how we're?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, so 5 on my list, which I totally didn't put together like maybe 10 minutes before we started this recording.
Totally didn't do that.
Even though I said I did it yesterday. But okay, so 5, I have the thermite grenade.
Really?
I do, yeah. So, well, you may not know because you started relatively, you know, you
Yeah.
started not too long ago, right?
Right.
The thermite when it first dropped was completely useless.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
it
I remember that.
it did not do what it was supposed to do. I remember throwing it at um chargers. The chargers then, running me over pretty consistently because I'm waiting for something to happen and it just didn't do it. It did get a pretty significant buff not too long ago, and now we get people running around with them all the time. I know Coyote. I don't think he's switched off of that thing since the buff, so it's good now. But yeah, it was completely unusable when it
Well, let me butt
first
in
dropped.
here, and I'm just gonna do this only because the thermite grenade is also my number 5.
Wow. All right.
And what I'll say about it, so what's funny is this week I have a little tagline for each of them. I put the thermite grenade. It's just not as satisfying and it's overpowered.
Mm.
So yeah, for me, I
Mhm.
like the impact, man. I like to, when I throw a grenade, I want to see it explode and like blow up a
Mm-hmm.
bunch of bugs. And thermite doesn't really do that. It is.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say it's not satisfying, and that's why it's at my number 5 slot. It's not the worst. It's
But
like it is overhyped, and it's overhyped because it's so OP, because it's so overpowered. Because now, like I said earlier, like because I'm running the stalwart and the eruptor, or because I'm running the eruptor and the thermites, I don't need an 8 tank weapon because the thermite and the eruptor will do away with pretty much anything I need to do
yeah,
away
I
with.
was about to say the same. Like if you're running a light loadout that doesn't have, for example, heavy armor pen or some form of anti-tank, the Termite is a good choice. But like if you're running the recoilless or autocannon or some kind of heavy weaponry, do you really need it? Isn't it better to have crowd control then?
Yeah,
I don't think
yeah.
I've I don't think I've run the thermite since it got dropped. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's been impacts,
And I'm
just
I-
like
I'm
you.
gonna jump in here because my number 5 is also the Termite.
Dang.
There we go, thermite gang. Thermite gang.
Termite gang.
Let me just change my number 5. Yep.
And I'll just finish mine. Yeah, I basically just chose it for me because it is overused. It's wildly overused, and it's overused because it's a little too strong. And that's kind of why I
Yeah.
chose it. It's too strong, and it's not satisfying enough. If it was a little bit more satisfying, then I would think I'd be all about it. I think to me, this game and the enjoyment, like I want it to be satisfying when I blow something apart or I melt it or whatever.
Hmm.
Yeah, 100%. You want that satisfaction. It because the satisfaction part is, uh, most people probably don't think about it, but it is what keeps people from coming back to the game because he gets satisfied by playing it. It's
Right.
like that with every game that people like to play. You need a satisfaction. If not, you're gonna fall off the bandwagon pretty quickly.
Now, Bacon, what did you say about about your number 5? Did you have the thermite on your list somewhere else?
No, I don't have it anywhere on my list because I've never used it. I'm like, oh, I really want it because, everyone's using it and it seems to be doing really well. It can take out, big tanks and even maybe factory striders. But
Oh yeah, it
no,
takes out factory striders, and that's part of the reason it's like overhyped. It's
Yeah.
just used too much, in my opinion.
yeah.
And I mean,
Um,
I would say like I run it very often, but that's also because I usually run loadouts where I'm kind of depending on it. Because often on bot side, I run the spear, for example, and if you're too close to the enemy, you can't fire the spear because it will just go over them.
Yeah.
right.
So in situations like that, you do actually need them.
And that's kind of
But
why, like, I'm not hating on it a lot. Like, I do think
yeah,
there's a use case for it.
yeah, 100%. But it depends on your loadout if it's worth bringing in compared to a frag grenade or incendiary or a gas grenade or something like that for crowd control.
But wow, a 3-way tie. I don't think we've had that on the podcast
I
before.
think that's the first.
That's
All
the
right, you're
first one.
welcome.
That's
Okay.
awesome, man. Well, hey Bacon, what's your let's get into your number 5.
I don't think Snuff will like my number 5.
Oh
And
no.
I know it was on my list for top 5 ways to unalive things, but I just wish it had a little bit more like armor pen or like I don't know, just some more.
You're gonna say, and I'm probably gonna agree with you.
It's the axe.
Yeah,
Yeah,
agree.
I'm like, it's fun to be like, yeah, I'm going up there, I'm slaughtering everything, but trying to use it practically in like a bug mission as a secondary, it's not really worth it.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like, it is a weapon that is very hard to use, and also it's way worse than the stun baton and the stun lance. The stun lance and
Right.
stun baton is way better, like by far, because they stun them pretty quickly. Like the axe can stun things, but you have to put in more hits, and they won't stun as long as well.
Right.
So I 100% agree with that. I'm not opposed to that.
So
Okay,
okay,
good.
I have
Yeah.
a question about the axe. By the way, I just got my 11th melee kill of my whole Helldivers career yesterday. So, well,
So I know what I'm talking about.
So I'm pretty qualified. Um, my question: you've got like Snuff, who's crazy, who will take the axe in and a shield and get 700 kills in a game. But a normal use case for the axe, it takes up a secondary slot, right?
Yeah.
So
It does.
would like a normal use case for it be like, okay, bugs are coming at you, you've emptied the magazine on your liberator, and there's a small bug near you, you pull out your axe, you hit it, then you go and reload your main weapon. Is that the use case for it?
It's
Pretty
basically
much.
like a last resort thing, just to get out. If you're swarmed, for example, you just axe yourself out and then dive and run
Okay.
away and
that does
to reload.
happen.
Yeah, like I would think it would be more balanced with the stun baton and stun lance if it had more damage.
Mm-hmm.
Because the thing is, the stun baton and stun lance has the same amount of damage as the axe, but they also stun. So the axe, that's one of the reasons you could only use the axe for the Berserker challenge, because it doesn't stun. So it makes it a hell of a lot harder than if it was just a melee challenge. So that's the main reason I made it that way.
Yeah.
Now, would
So
you
if they
rather?
up the damage, it would be more balanced and it would be less overhyped, I would say.
Would you rather a higher damage or a higher armor penetration?
I would say higher damage,
Okay.
honestly, because then you will be more effective with it. Because you generally will, like in a realistic setting, like unless you're doing the Berserker challenge, realistically you would only use it for something up to a Devastator size, for example. You wouldn't
Right.
go out of your way to kill a Hulk,
A
most
tank.
likely, or a tank, or a factory shredder with the axe. Like you can do it, but that's not what you would use it for the most part. So I think higher damage, you just deal with the smaller ones faster, so you
Right.
can
Right.
get out of a tricky situation quickly.
Oh yeah.
And that's kind of the use case for the melee weapons, honestly.
Right.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But all right, so we're on to number 4. Mela, what's your number 4 most overhyped weapon?
All right. My number 4 personally is the laser cannon.
Really.
Mm-hmm.
I love that thing.
Well, it, well, it all harkens back to when the game was first released,
Yeah.
as most of my picks would. The laser cannon was more of a tickle gun, really.
Yeah, it used to honestly kind of suck.
I
Very
know. I
hard.
remember. Yeah, I remember leveling my character up, seeing laser cannon as an option. Foregoing a lot of the other, stratagems or weapons that I could buy instead with my rec slips. Putting the thing on my shoulder, and then again, tickling
Yeah,
everything I saw. Yeah.
yeah, it was kind of like a slightly beefier size, basically.
Yeah, and the scythe was bad.
Yeah, the size was also bad, like bad.
Like unusable bad. Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of like what I talked about in I think it was the audition episode that we did, where we talked a little bit about the game balance and how the weapons are now compared to before that big update. And I would say everything now is more balanced in the weapon section.
Oh, I 100% agree. I
Yeah.
do have a little nostalgia kick here. I remember when it was breaker, railgun, shield backpack,
Mm.
Yeah,
and there you go. That's it. You're set.
yeah. Everyone ran that. Like,
God.
I would say, like, the weapons are fairly balanced. They wouldn't necessarily have had to beef them up as much as they did now necessarily, but
Mhm.
they balanced out more the weapons way better now to compare to every other weapon. So every weapon is more viable. Because the problem before was that a lot of the weapons weren't viable, but now they are. Like, you can randomize your loadout much more and still have a good time.
Yeah, agreed. I'm very happy with the balancing now. I
Yeah.
could
Yeah,
I don't feel bad walking in with pretty much
yeah.
anything, you know.
Yeah,
Also,
like
I'll
now
hop
they
in
can just
here. I'll hop in here
yeah.
as a laser cannon user.
Okay. Let's hear it.
Because I never used it before, and I played, a couple months after Helldivers came out, like right when Malevolent Creek, like that's when I started playing, and I never used the laser cannon back then. I use it now because my main weapon is mostly the Eruptor, and it heavily relies on ammo, and I use the laser cannon because it doubles as it kind of turns into a primary weapon, and then also I don't have to I don't rely on ammo. So it's not it is a little weak. Like it can't kill a tank from the front. You have to put a lot of damage on a factory strider to kill it with a laser cannon. You can kill a Hulk from the front, but it takes a little bit. So it is a little bit weak, but like the way that it gets balanced out is because it's not so reliant on ammo. So you don't have to go around and search for ammo packs and all that.
Yeah.
But I definitely understand why it's in your number 4 slot. Even though I do use it, I don't want to have to use it. I'm like forced to use it because of the ammo situation.
Right.
One thing I will say though, if they when they start adding more of the difficult enemies, please don't buff the weapons more. Don't buff them more.
Mhm.
They're
Yeah.
perfectly balanced as they are right now.
Yeah.
Don't touch them.
Make level 10 hard again.
Oh, well, maybe
Make
not.
me suffer.
Okay.
Well, hey, I'll hop in with my number 4. It's the railgun. And the little quote I put underneath it is, "This weapon has 2 modes, overheat and underdeliver."
Okay.
Yeah, and I don't really, and it's, yeah, I think it's overhyped. And I don't know how it sits currently. I know back in the day everybody was using it. I never really liked it back then. I don't really use it now. I would like to like it, but I just don't.
It's all right now. I probably haven't used it since it got nerfed with the breaker and all that last year. I just don't care for it anymore.
Yeah.
But with that, we can move on. Let's go, Snuff. What's your number 4?
It is it's a tie for me. It's the Senator and the Breaker Incendiary.
I don't think we've
Yeah.
done a tie before either.
Yeah, I think that's my first like official tie between two things. The thing with the Senator is it's a great weapon. It's not that, but the other secondaries, guys, they're great. You just have to get used to using them. People just tend to use the Senator because it has heavy armor pen.
Yeah.
But then again, think about your loadout. You have let's go for the recoilless loadout. You have a recoilless. You have termites. you have orbital barrages. Maybe you have the orbital laser or 500. You have tons of heavy armor pen, and of all things you choose is the Senator. Like, choose something that that isn't heavy armor pen. That is something maybe with more ammo, or is better for crowd control. Something that can help you out in a pinch, like the stun baton, maybe to get out of a tricky spot, or what's it called? The crisper, the tiny flamethrower. just anything else. Honestly, they're all so good, but people always use the senator. It's the only thing they use, unless you're on bug side. Then maybe you pull out your grenade pistol to close bug holes if you don't have anything else for those in your loadout. But yeah, that's
a
my
good
number
choice.
4. And then you have the Breaker Incendiary, which is I love that weapon. Like I use it a lot on bug side, but it also doesn't do that much. It's really good for crowd control and people use it all the time. But the thing is, it's only good for the small guys. Like if
Right.
one pellet hits the tiny guys, they will die. Yeah, they will die. But for the brood commanders or anything else like that, it won't. It takes too many shots. It used to have more magazines. When it had more magazines, it was even stronger than it is now. Like it used to be insanely good. Mela probably remembers this, how good it used to be. Like when we
Oh,
actually
God.
went to Meridia to make it into a black hole to blow up the planet. How good Breaker Incendiary was back then. It was insane.
There was no point in running anything else on bugs.
Yeah,
It was
but now
ridiculous.
that it has less ammo, it's more balanced compared to the other weapons, but it doesn't do that much. So if you just run the regular breaker, for example, or honestly, if you look like on numbers like damage wise, use the break and spray. The break and spray does more damage per second than both the breaker and the breaker incendiary.
You know, I'm gonna hop in here because I'm a little sad it's not on my list. Because I don't really like it. I think it's so overhyped. I think people overuse it, and I have had this opinion since a year ago when it was actually overpowered. And you're saying, oh, you shouldn't use anything else. I didn't use it even back then. Like I didn't like it. I just think it's too close range.
Yeah,
It sticks me in.
you kind of get a little bit annoyed of seeing how
Oh
many
yeah.
people run it.
Well, I mean
Like everyone's using it.
well, the case was it was bad when it first came out. Like it wasn't
Yeah, when it
that
first came
great.
out, it was
And
really
then they
bad.
buffed fire damage altogether. And
Yeah.
then it just became overpowered. And then
Yeah,
they
it just
dialed
became
it back
God
again.
mode.
And so I mean, really, you could say it was overhyped a couple times probably. So
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really use it now because I shoot too much. I just hold my trigger down, and that's not good for that weapon. So
Yeah. Well, that's one thing that is nice about that weapon, that it only can shoot bursts of 3 at a time because it overheats. So it's limited to 3. So you can only shoot bursts or one shot at a time, or you can just spam it, of course.
nah, full auto. If it's full auto or nothing. Come on.
All right, so really quick, I think we need to keep this train moving.
Yep.
So it's gonna be Bacon's number 4.
Cool. My number 4 is one that I was really looking forward to, but it just didn't turn out that well. It was the fast recon vehicle. I was expecting it just to be able to take mountains and terrain like nothing else, but I just find myself drifting out of control every other turn, and I'm like, okay, I'll try to use first and second gear, but then I'm like, oh, I'm going too slow. Can I just select my own gears? But no, it's just not that good as I wanted it to be.
No, it's really shitty.
Yeah.
Like there's no way around it. Yeah, you have a heavy machine gun, but it's the drivability of it's really bad.
It is.
Yeah,
I blame the 5 minutes of training that we got. It wasn't enough.
And I'll say I put it on my honorable mention was the FRV.
Nice.
So
Yeah, understandable.
All right, Mela.
All right, number 3. I have the exosuit. And hear me out. Fun, very fun, but I want to use it on the bots, but I can't.
Yeah.
You know, it feels like it has a lot of utility, but only in specific situations. You get swarmed far too quickly on higher level bug missions. I haven't played it on Illuminates yet, but I mean, there's so much other fun stuff to use on the Illuminates, and then
Yeah,
it's almost unplayable on bots.
Yeah, it's okay on Terminids. On Illuminates, I don't see like a single reason to bring it because you could just bring a Gatling Center instead or something.
Yep.
On
Not to
bots,
mention
it just blows up.
yeah, not to mention if you're inside of it, you can't use anything else. No
Yeah,
stratagems.
Mhm.
Your
yeah,
weapons are useless.
yeah.
Eh,
Yeah, and I
It's
also
it's
had
cool.
this. I had it on my honorable mention as well as the FRV, and I think for the same reason. The same reason is I think I like light infantry gameplay. I like to fight on my feet, and so it kind of takes you out of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of harkens back to what I've talked about before. About this game is supposed to make you feel vulnerable, so you have to feel hopeless. It kind of harkens back to that, I would say. Like, realistically, if you use a suit like that in real life, it would be extremely overpowered in situations like these.
Yeah, especially for bugs.
Yeah, like you just mow down everything in your path. It's kind of like look at the movie Avatar, for example. How they are there, they just mow down everything because they kind of have the same kind of suits,
hmm
and it just mows down everything in their path.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Well,
I like infantry as well because it makes you feel that suffering, the hopelessness.
so we're on
It
number
gives you
3,
those
right?
amazing moments.
Yep, this
Yeah,
is
we should
3.
be on 3 now.
I'm gonna go ahead and do my number 3, and I think I'm gonna make some people mad with this one. The the quasar cannon.
No.
I
Okay.
didn't even write a reason for this one. I just it's too long
Okay.
of a cooldown.
We're gonna have to fight.
We had a long conversation on a previous episode about. And was it the one where we had another guest?
I think it was.
Demon?
Wasn't it last episode or something?
Was it with
or was it-
Demon?
Yeah, I think so.
I think
Maybe.
it was with Demon. We had a long conversation about the quasar cannon, and he was like, "Oh yeah, it's not that bad to charge it up when it's like, you can run around and charge it up." And no, no, it's too long. The fact of the matter is, it has a cooldown and it has a charge up. That is too much. Pick one or the other. If you're gonna have a 4-second charge up, don't make it a 15-second cooldown. Make it like a 3-second cooldown. Like, why is this so? You have to wait 20 seconds in between to use it.
Well,
I hate that you're
again,
right.
it goes back to like what we were talking about with some of the other weapons, like the incendiary breaker. It was
Yeah.
great when it was launched. It was fantastic. There was almost no point in running anything else. But
Yeah.
and then they doubled. I think they doubled the cooldown time, and then they brought it kind of back to where it was.
Yeah,
but-
they brought it somewhere in between the.
Yeah, but yeah,
those
so it's still.
updates.
I still say it's good, but there's so many options now with all the buffing and and
Yeah.
everything like that to where I mean just run something else.
I mean, in general, what this list is trying to tell people: vary your loadouts. Don't run the same thing over and over again. Learn how to use every weapon.
Mm-hmm.
I like the quasar.
I like it. I like
No,
it. I just don't use it.
kind of. I will say I do disagree with it being overhyped because it has such a weakness to it. So I do actually disagree that it's overhyped.
Yeah.
But
I don't remember
I
much.
I do also understand your point. Like, I agree with your point, but also disagree with it.
I would say.
I think
Here's how I'll say this list is going for me. The closer I get to number 1, the more overhyped something is. So the more people use it, or the
Okay.
more people think it's good. But then also
Yeah.
for me, the bar for the quasar is so low that if anybody thinks it's good, I think it's overhyped. So for
Oh
me,
my god.
Yeah, I can see that.
All
No,
right.
don't worry. I have some things on my list that will Probably,
I will
probably
see the
people would be pissed at me for some of them.
I will see the point that I've seen people use the quasar, and it is satisfying when you hit something with a laser that hard. It's like the opposite of the laser cannon, where the laser cannon not that satisfying. Quasar is very satisfying, but the cooldown is just too much, man.
It is. It really is.
It's something you have to get used to. It's really
Yeah,
something
there's a skill
really have
trap
to get
there.
used to.
So
Well,
we got
something I do. Sorry,
Oh, yeah.
something
No,
I
you
do
go,
is
you
I
go.
use a energy secondary with my energy primary. So like the quasar cannon with a sickle. So then while that's cooling down, I'm using another energy weapon to take stuff out. But yeah, that's kind of helps me. It's like juggling.
So
Yeah.
Snuff, what's your number 3?
It's the orbital laser.
Really?
Yeah. It's I would say it's mediocre at taking down the biggest stuff like factory striders and bile titans. It uses up almost the whole timer for it.
Mm-hmm.
It has 3 uses. Honestly, they can probably move that up to 5 uses if I'm being honest, and it wouldn't affect the game much. It's okay at crowd control, but that's it. That's it. It doesn't. I used to run it a lot. Like I still like using it now and then, but I would say it is overhyped a lot. Like by a huge margin, it's very overhyped. People tend to just spam that thing. Like if you try to use it a little bit more tactical, to use it only for special moments, like taking down a lot of enemies if you're really in a pinch. But also, often when you do that, you can just use something else.
That's
but it
wild.
also, this one is also a split one for me. I have another one.
Yo, it's a
Number
tie.
3.
Okay. Well, let me say something
Yeah.
about this before we move on to your tie. It's that
Yeah.
I think 3 is low. 3 uses is not enough, man.
Yeah.
We're getting like so like overwhelmed by so many things.
Yeah, and because of that, there's so many things that is way more worse bringing than the laser. But yeah, I have another one.
All right, what's your tie?
and it's one that a lot of people have tended to use nowadays, and that's including me. And it's the Eagle Strafing Run. Because the Eagle Strafing Run makes people forget about other stratagems. Like they forget about all the other Eagles. Yeah, like you have the cluster bomb, you have the airstrike, you have the 500, which I don't like. You have so many options, and yet people, I understand why they use it because it goes a straight line from where you throw it. But yeah, it's overused, guys. Learn to use everything else.
I actually need to start using that. I don't think I've ever brought it in once.
Yeah, you'll understand, DB, once you start using it. You will use it a lot.
I'll try it out. I'll try it out this week, and I'll see. I'll report back.
But it gets kind of boring because it has the most uses. And it's a short cooldown, and it goes in a straight line, so it's easy to target things. It's easier to. I would say it's the easiest Eagle Strike to use.
Well, all right, Bacon. What's your number 3?
My number 3 is one that I was really hyped about when the War Bond released, and it's the double-edged sickle. I'm slowly realizing that it sucks.
Yeah, I completely forgot about that weapon. That would definitely be on my list.
Dude, after every mission, I'm looking at all the sheets, and it's like, oh, I always have the most shots fired, always the most hits, and the least amount of kills. And I'm like, what is going on? It's because it doesn't do as much damage as the normal sickle. And to get that higher armor pen, you have to charge it for a really, really long time. And then you catch on fire. And it's like, well, no, it's just... I gotta find a different laser primary, but
And,
So
and
it's
another thing for me with that one is that people kind of just forgot about the regular sickle when that came out.
Hmm.
When was the last time you saw someone actually use a regular sickle?
April Fools.
Yeah. I honestly can't remember. It has to be like before it came out. The last time I remember someone actually using the regular sickle,
Hmm.
even though I think that is the better weapon.
Really?
So explain to me how the double sickle works really quick.
So when you start firing, it has a low armor penetration, and I don't think it's any like self harm. I guess it's like they removed all the heat sinks from the weapon, the sickle, so then it can get hotter, it can fire faster, or not faster, but more armor pen, and in doing so, it inflicts damage upon the Helldiver. Um, Beyond, I think it's 30 or 40%, it starts getting into medium armor pen, but then it starts doing damage to your diver. And then once you hit 90 to 100%, or 90 to 99%, it does heavy armor penetration. But once you hit 100%, it burns out, and then you have to reload it.
So similar to my little motto with the railgun, it has two modes: overheat or under deliver.
Yep, exactly.
Pretty much.
Pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my
Yeah,
number 3.
Well, that's a solid pick.
by the, I would say one thing. Like by the time
Mhm.
it is charged up to get a heavy armor pen, you could have just killed it with something else.
Yeah, I do realize that.
Yeah.
But I like having at least something that's golden on the end screen.
And animation is really weird as well, because when you get to that point where you start setting it on fire, it looks like it's shooting backwards as well as forward. I don't know what's going on there. It has to be some kind of graphical glitch. It looks so weird.
Well, so we're on to Mela. You're number 2, I think.
All right, here we go. My number 2 is the tenderizer. Hey.
Hey.
That's a
Yeah.
gun name I haven't heard in a long time.
Well, okay, so this was hype for me because, when the war bond was leaked out and they let us know, I just loved the look of it. It looked like it was going to be great. It was just going to be like a huge, amped up, like,
Yeah, it looks
Liberator
cool
on
as fuck.
roids. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you used it and it shot peas. It was
Yeah.
it was so bad. It did no
It's-
damage. It couldn't kill anything.
Yeah, it's kind of
Oh.
it kind of makes it almost like it should have the sound of when you flush the toilet
Yeah.
when you shoot it.
Yup. Yeah. That too, and I would have understood if like it did less damage and at a higher magazine count, but no,
Yeah.
it actually held less ammo than the standard Liberator did.
Yeah.
So it did
It
less
still
damage,
does.
had less ammo on it. What was the point?
Yeah, it's one of those weapons I see myself never using.
Oh,
I think I've used it 2 times and that's it.
I use it
Like
all the
for my whole
time.
hell. Yeah, I've used it like I think it's 2 times throughout my whole Helldiver career.
I love the Liberator. First of all, very disappointed when it came out, but I still used it anyways because I was just
Yeah.
hoping that eventually they would fix it, and they did. Thank you for that. Bless you.
So I
Yeah.
I couldn't remember what this was, but the tenderizer, I pulled it up. It's just an assault rifle. It functions as a bridge between the Liberator and the BR-14 Adjudicator. So it's like a mix between the two. It has 35 rounds in a magazine, and it does 105 damage. Now, is it full auto?
It is, but you
Okay.
could switch
Yeah.
it around. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It does 105 now, but I think because I don't know what the Liberator is, but it did 10 less than the Liberator. I'm
Is the
pretty.
Liberator
when I
like
saw.
80 right now? What's it at?
I don't know. But then they buffed the Liberator to 90. This tells you how much I love this gun. Then they buffed it to 90, and then they buffed it again in the most recent patch, or not the most recent
So the
one.
Liberator is not as 80 damage.
Okay.
Now,
Yeah, it did
after
less.
all
It
the
did
buffs.
less. Yeah.
But it used to be like 60, the Liberator.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was 60 still when the Tenderizer was first dropped.
Yeah.
So it did
The
even less
regular
than that.
Liberator is also a gun that is very underused.
Well, yeah.
Like the standard Liberator, it's so underused.
Why go standard when you got so many options, you know?
Yeah. I actually
for-
have been using it recently because it is well rounded.
Yeah. And like it has literally no recoil. So for people who aren't that good at aiming, use the standard Liberator. You have no recoil whatsoever.
Why did I
shots
feel
fired.
targeted a little bit?
Yeah, shots fired by Snuff.
Wow. Wow.
No, but like not everyone is a sniper. I'm not a sniper. I'm not good with a sniper. I'm not good at that. But like if it's a good way to get better at aiming because it has so little recoil.
All right, I'm actually excited to get into my number 2.
All right.
Yeah, I'm gonna start making people mad here.
It's my turn, right? We're on my number 2.
Yeah.
And the reason why I'm excited to do my number 2 is because this is the hill I will die on. My number 2 is the arc thrower and the motto I gave it is why kill one bug why kill one bug when you can zap your entire squad instead. I don't like it. It's not satisfying to use. Like, and I'm gonna say the arc thrower. I'm gonna say there's a shotgun that does the same thing. The blitzer. Any of them is the hill I will die on. It could be awesome. You could have lightning coming out of your weapon and it feel awesome, and they just didn't. And I don't like it. I'm not gonna like it, and I keep dying to it from my teammates.
I think if they made, like, when the lightning ball shoots, the animation of the lightning, if they made that a little bit more spectacular, like a little more of a little boom, kind of, make it more spectacular, it would be a hell of a lot more satisfying.
Yes.
Just that alone would help it so much with satisfaction.
But yeah, so I don't have.
I want to hear that
on
thunder strike. You want a thunder strike when you shoot it, but you don't get it.
Yeah.
I know the exact mission that made you so like angry at it. The dude had like a Tesla tower and the arc weapon, and it just so many friendly fire kills. It was insane.
Yeah, so I think that's pretty much all I have to say on it. If I see you using it, I don't like you. You're not my friend.
All right, guys. I think it's time to saddle in because we're gonna get hate comments now.
Yeah, 100%. And
I'm about to upset someone. I know, and I'm thinking about you. Okay, when I get there, you'll know who you are, and I'm sorry.
It's the 500, dude. It's so
Oh.
Alright, can I leave?
I
Alright.
always get disappointed whenever I use it. Every single time. Like, yes, it's cool to see the Bile Titan always surviving, coming out of that cloud of smoke, always fucking surviving, no matter how good you hit. That's a cool visual. But man, does it do anything? It does nothing at all. If you throw it on a fucking horde, I will die on this hill, man. If you throw it on a horde of 2,000 bugs collected together, it will kill 3 of them. It will fucking kill 3 of them. It's not satisfying. Its only use case that is actually useful, where it does a good job, is taking down bug nest. But you can just use a fucking grenade for that and do the same job probably faster and have more uses because the 500 only have 2 uses, and then you have to have the long ass cooldown for it. I will fucking die on this. I will dig my own grave for you.
Wow.
All right, well, while I don't agree, I will come to your defense. And the defense I have for Snuff is the definition of overhyped. The list is top 5 weapons or equipment in general that's overhyped. And the definition of overhype is to hype something to an excessive degree. And while I do think it's good, I do think there's a use case, I don't agree with you. I will say,
It's mediocre.
technically, it does belong on your list because it is overhyped, I believe.
Yeah, it's very much overhyped, but I will say it's very cool looking. It's very
It does
cinematic,
look cool.
and that's fucking it.
Very
Other than
cinematic,
that,
very
pure
demure.
mediocre stratagem.
I just wish like you call it down and it actually lodged itself into the Bile Titan or like the factory strider. That would be really cool, but it
I mean,
doesn't.
it does. It does.
Does it? I've
It
never
can.
seen it do it.
No, but yeah, it is like a split second before it blows up.
Yeah.
Oh.
And it's also rare. It doesn't do it every time.
Yeah.
Okay.
You have
You
to
have to
hit
hit
it just
perfectly.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
that's
that
why.
was a good one, Snuff. That was a good number 2.
I feel,
Almost as good as
I
my
feel
number
annoyed
2.
already. I feel annoyed already.
I'm gonna make people mad with my number 1. So, Bacon, what is your
Well,
number 2?
My number 2 is just kind of all orbital stratagems. I just after using eagles at first I was like, okay, I like orbitals, so these are really cool. I didn't have any of the ship upgrades to make them better, so I think that's why I'm like, this is on my list. But you can't reload them. You only get 3 uses on some of them, and I'm like, it doesn't do what I want it to do because my aim is bad.
Well,
Sounds like
mean,
a
that's
skill
more-
issue.
Sounds more.
Yeah.
Sounds like a skill issue. Do you want
It
a lot
is.
of skill issues? I have one. I always have a spare laying around for anyone who needs it.
Boy.
I will say I do agree with you a little bit because the cooldown is so long, like 300 seconds and 3 uses is just not cool for a game where I'm killing 700 bugs. But I just need a little bit more conviction from you.
Yeah.
Come on, Bacon, rant a little bit. Go Snuff mode, rant a little bit.
I can't. I only have 50 hours in the game and haven't used it for more than 30 minutes because it's always on cooldown.
I do understand you though. They can be a little bit underwhelming. Like you
Yeah.
can toss a 380, for example, on the fortress, and it will take down 1 fabricator.
Maybe.
No, that's
Yeah.
true.
And like there's a smoke orbital, but there's also the smoke what's it called? Eagle, which you could just reload. I don't know if it's
Yeah.
unlimited orbitals.
I mean, if you have multiple
It's only the
eagles-
orbital laser that is limited.
Okay.
yeah.
Oh, but what Melo was saying is you can't bring in like multiple eagles or it creates a problem.
I mean, yeah, you can. It just then you got
Yeah, you
all
did-
of them on cooldown
yeah,
instead. So like
You have to remember to reload your eagle in between fights when you
Mm-hmm.
have multiple eagles.
Okay.
yeah. So sometimes an orbital is just a good complementary
Yeah.
piece to an eagle, but I guess I can get where you're coming from. But
And clearly, this bacon dude from California, I don't know who it is, but he clearly haven't used a fucking orbital gas strike.
that's a good one. All right, that's great.
The orbital gas strike is
right on a
cheap.
bug breach. Yep.
Yeah,
time.
bug breach or in front of a swarm of bots coming towards you.
Mm-hmm.
It clears them out, dude. It is peak orbital.
My list might not be like public overhype. It's just my own personal. Oh, I think this is gonna be really cool.
I mean, that's kind of the point of the list, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Everyone has opinions about everything.
Yeah, and each person
Sure
has,
do.
has their own different list of it.
I'm gonna embrace every hate comment I get. Bring them on. Because I'm gonna rant in a minute as well.
All right. Cool.
All right.
Number
well,
one.
yeah, I'm excited. Mello, what's your number one
number one.
overhyped weapon or equipment or stratagem?
All right. Here it comes. I'm looking at you, Matt. My number 1 is the spear.
Dude, I love the spear.
Sorry. Sorry.
I'm with
Infinite.
Matt. I'm with Matthew on this one.
I mean, okay. I mean, look, it's one of the last things you're able to unlock before hitting 20.
Yeah.
It was horrible for so long. But you look at it and you're like, but it locks on. It's got to be great. It like, it's so disappointing.
It is disappointing. I agree.
And it's one shot, and it's like, okay, why don't I bring a rail cannon strike or a recoilless, and I get 6 more shots instead? And
And also,
Or-
it lost its. There used to be a use case for it where you could take down like jammer
Buildings.
towers.
yeah, you could bring down,
Yeah.
you could take down a lot of POIs with it, but nope, not anymore.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
I will say though, the targeting system on it is bad.
It was bad, and
It
yeah,
is bad. I love the spear, but I will say that the targeting
I
system
remember
sucks
spending,
ass.
I remember spending way too long trying to point that thing at a Bile Titan, and then just getting stepped on. Cause
Yeah, dude. Now it's even worse because sometimes now it will just target. It will target, but when it's targeting nothing. So it just shoots randomly into the sky, and the
yeah,
rocket
I
just
will,
disappears.
I will say it's had its time in the sun, but it's dead to me.
also, as far as it being overhyped, it's not like the whole community uses it, but the few
No.
people that do won't shut the F up about it.
I mean, yeah, Infinite in Rewind in our server. That's Matt. If some of you don't know that still. His name still Spear Sticko or whatever.
I think
in here,
so.
I
I
think.
believe so. Yeah.
I know,
His
I
name
know.
is still Spersico.
Yeah, he will defend that weapon till his grave. So come at me, right?
All right.
All right, somebody
Fair
else,
point.
please take this.
All right.
Please.
All right, my number one most overhyped thing. I'm just gonna say this. Yes, I'm hating on your fun. I'm a fun hater. I don't like when you guys have fun. And my number one is the jump pack. Because
I agree.
why? Because why help the team when you can yeet yourself into a Bile Titan?
No, I agree with you. Jump pack, very
It's-
overhyped. It's not on my
it's-
list, but it's overhyped.
It's like I get it. I get why you're doing it. I get it. You're trying to have fun. It's a video game. Let's have fun in the video game. I don't like you. This doesn't make me want to be your friend. You're not helping the team. You're just flying
Yeah.
around. You have
Yeah.
you have 80 kills over there while I have 460. Like you're not helping.
Yeah, I just call them the trampoline people.
Yeah. Well, I know of one person in our server that really liked that and will be really offended by you.
Excellent. That is the point of this.
You know
I
who
hope
you
so
are.
many people get offended.
But yeah, I get it. I get it that people like it. You should have fun, and maybe when you're on lowered level difficulties, like level 6, 7, maybe you can use the jump pack. I think it's too overused. I think too many people use it. I see it in almost every game that I do Terminids. I see it on TikToks. I see it on clips. I see it all over. It's my number one because it is the definition of overhyped. It is literally
Yeah.
useless. There's no good use case for it. Like tactically or lethally, like you could bring an airstrike that could actually kill something. But what are you gonna bring? No, I'm gonna bring a toy. I'm gonna jump around and play around the map with.
No, I agree, dude. I agreed. 100% agree. It's for me. I would place it next to the 500.
Yeah.
The 500 and the jump pack. You guys can just be packed away into a dusty card box, put up in the attic, and stay there forever.
But yeah, and I'm okay with people disliking me for that, but that's it. That's the other hill. I'm not sure if I'm dying on that hill. You guys are allowed to have fun, but man, it's suitable for my number one. What about you, Snuff? What's your number one?
It's the fucking recoilless rifle, dude. I fucking get annoyed when I go into random match. I'm gonna rant so much for this because when you go into a random match, there's always everyone using the fucking recoilless, man. You guys don't know any other weapon in the game except the fucking recoilless rifle. You put the game on easy mode. It's supposed to be hard. It's not. It's slow to reload. You can use the eat instead. Way more effective in the long run. I fucking hate it.
I like it.
I know a lot of you do, and this is why I said I will die on these hills, and a lot of people are gonna give me hate comments. But the fucking recoilless rifle, dude, if you die with it, you don't have it for what, 8 minutes or something until it cools down?
That's insane.
Just don't die, all right? Just don't do it.
Yeah, but the thing is, the people use it only use that. They don't know how to use any other weapon in the game. They know how to maybe use a shotgun, but that's it.
Well, look, it's fun to point and shoot. You know what? There's no point.
I get the big bullet. It's very satisfactory for some people, but Jesus fucking Christ, dude, use another weapon. You can do the same thing as that weapon with almost any other of the heavy weapon, and they keep using the fucking recoilless. That's one of the reasons I use a spear instead of the recoilless, because it's faster to reload. Yes, it has less ammo, but you can be more accurate with your shots automatically. You can shoot further accurately because it targets. The total range of the recoilless is better. But Jesus fucking Christ, guys, use something else than the fucking recoilless. The whole game gets fucking boring whenever I see a recoilless in my match.
I'm just laughing because I've never brought the recoilless into a match.
I am very happy that you haven't, because I would leave that match.
But I'll start using it this week. I gotta try it out.
Yeah, exactly. I'm bringing it every match as soon as I unlock it.
There was
You
this,
are
and there
on
was
That's
something else.
that's literally the main reason. Like, my main reason I don't play with randoms anymore. That's literally the main reason, because people will bring the fucking recoilless, and often also they bring the ultimatum and termites. What the
Ooh,
fuck
yep.
are you gonna do with termites, ultimatum, and recoilless? What the fuck are you gonna do with it? Yes, I get that the ultimatum can take down a fucking jammer, but Jesus fucking Christ, guys, where the fucking is the challenge in that? How are you gonna get good at anything if you keep using the same thing over and over again and not giving yourself a challenge? I
Winning,
will toss that thing into Meridia Singularity.
and I will keep winning.
And yet I die less than the recoilless users. So fuck you guys.
All right. Who's
All
next?
right, Bacon. It's Bacon's #1 most overhyped weapon.
My number one is just shotguns. I don't understand how running into a middle of a horde and shooting a gun rather than just taking it a step back and being a little bit more, thoughtful with fighting.
Some of us are masochists, you know.
I am gonna need you to be a little bit madder about it, Bacon.
Okay, I don't know. Okay,
Bring
so
out that thing each.
I tried using the incendiary shotgun on a bugs mission, and it was helpful with the ones that were in the air, but as soon as anything big came out, I panicked and I died. And it was just, if I was using anything else, I would have been fine. But no, I had to get out of place and go in and
I will
couldn't
add a
think.
point to the breaker incendiary, because most people are using it wrong as well. Because people just keep spamming it, right? You just see people just shoot it like a regular shotgun. That's not the point of it. You're just supposed to pop one shot, let the fire do the work. That's the whole point of it, and people don't use it like that. If you use it like that, you get way more crowd control, because the ones you shot at will burn to death, most of them, and then you can come back to the ones that didn't burn to death and shoot the other ones meanwhile. But people keep spamming it, and that's why people run out of ammo as well. If you're gonna spam it, use a regular breaker.
Well, look, I actually think this is one of the best top 5 segments we've had. This has been really fun. We've just been hating
think
on
so.
things for 40 minutes.
It is so nice to just get that fucking rage out
Yeah.
sometimes and just hate on things.
And I will say,
please, guys, Spotify comments, YouTube comments, Discord comments, please hate on
Oh,
me.
yes.
I will
Oh,
come
yes.
back at you.
comment what your most overhyped one is. Comment how we're wrong. Tell us how we're wrong.
I will embrace the hate. Oh, ship names.
Ship names.
All right. Hey, I think we should have Mela do the first one.
What?
Yeah.
And you
Hold on,
gotta
wait.
you can say their name normal, but you gotta say the name of the ship in your best Jeff Steitzer voice.
Oh, you
Yeah.
better give them
all right,
justice.
hold on,
This,
I have
this is a
to-
friend. This is a friend of me, so you better give them justice.
Hold on, I have to
Pull up the
have to
show
open
notes.
up the doc. I don't. All right.
Start with some vocal warm-ups.
I'm glad we're
that helps
really.
me.
I'm glad everyone is perfectly prepared for this.
red leather, yellow leather. Red leather, yellow leather. Okay.
It starts with double and ends with kill. That's the vocal warm-up.
Double kill. All right,
There
let's
you go.
all right, here we go. All right. Ship names. We have Canna with the SES Fear of the Regime. For swift and decisive action on the front line against all who would oppose the democratic ways of Super Earth.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for your service.
I think I will do the next one. This is apparently also a friend of mine.
Nice.
These fucking Danes. I tell you, they're everywhere. This one comes in from Gutsy, also nicknamed Joel's Chosen Diver. We talked about him in one of the earlier episodes because of his democracy officer. And it is the SES Flame of Midnight. Standing ready for action. One shot is all it takes. They will never see dawn again. Thank you for your service.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you for your service.
All right, Bacon, you want to do the last one?
Sure, I can. This last one is from YouTube, from the Figure Freak. Is this the first YouTube comment with the
First
ship
comment
name?
question mark?
I don't know if it's the first definitive YouTube ship name that we've got. It's just the first one that I've seen since we've taken over.
From YouTube. Very nice. Very nice. Well, welcome.
Very nice.
Be sure to like and subscribe. But yeah, from the Figure Freak with the SES Shield of the People. He chose this name because he feels the pinnacle of serving democracy is saving all non-dissident citizens of the federations. Love the podcast, by the way. Thank you for your service.
Thank you for
Thank
service.
Thank you for your service. All right. That was the ship names. Well,
Ship name?
I guess we're moving on to the community task. And this time, there's some rumors there's going to be something new. And it's Mela here has cooked something up for me this time.
Oh,
So what do you
Something
have
for
for
you?
us?
Okay, well, so only recently I have been given the illustrious role as the event coordinator for the server. Our last event was your challenge stuff, and I do remember. My God, you make us do the hardest stuff I've ever tried. So
You're most welcome, sire.
yeah, so we've listened to you guys here on the Discord server. We had some polls up and you guys voted, and we will start to kind of approach these events a little differently going forward. And to start things off, we will dial back the difficulty just a little bit here, and You know,
For this one.
for this one. And I've actually am going to start the first of a series of events that we can revisit here and there as we go through. It kind of goes along with your top 5 this week, where we were kind of revisiting some of these stratagems, weapons, and so on. So, I kind of want to go back and check out a lot of the older weapons and armor that we have access to in this game, as we it's been around for over a year at this point. So I am going to introduce the War Bond challenge. Well, maybe less of a challenge. I haven't really come up with a name for it yet, guys. You're gonna have to give me a little bit of time. But
That's alright.
I was thinking War Bond Recall, or maybe a nostalgia series, where I will promote a war bond with each one of these events. The first one being the Steeled Veterans, where we will jump into missions with the armor and weapons that are promoted in the war bond. Obviously, more rules and such will be ironed out when the event is officially launched. Um, so yeah, I think we're going to just go through each war bond one at a time, and just maybe just see what else is in this game. For all you people using the recoilless, use something else.
Yeah,
For all of
this
you
is a g-
spear
this is
weirdos,
I
you
like
have
the
to use
challenge
something
because
else now.
it will
Yeah.
force people to learn other armors and weaponry in this game.
And that's what I'm hoping to promote. Kind of going back,
Yeah.
remembering everything else that this game has to offer, and yeah, like I said, if it goes well, we'll continue to pump out more war bond by war bond, hopefully. But I mean, don't be discouraged. The challenges are still going to come out. Uh, if you do like trying to compete with Snuff, maybe you have to sit one out eventually, Snuff, so somebody else can get a win. But
Fine.
but yeah, so that should be coming out. Do we know when this episode is coming out? Because it'll probably launch
This
with
episode
the
will come
episode.
out
I would say
sometime next week.
I would
Of-
say maybe put up the challenge 24 hours after the episode launches.
Sure. Okay, I will have to keep a lookout for that release date then.
So I'm
Yeah,
gonna say
just so
probably.
people can listen first.
I'm gonna say probably. I'll release this on Tuesday or Wednesday of next week.
Okay, perfect. It will. I will probably launch. Okay, the announcement will probably go up with the episode, but the launch of the event itself will probably take place that following Friday.
Yeah, sounds like a good
And
idea.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
that sounds
I'm
like a great
excited. I hope
challenge
everyone
for an
else
event.
is.
Yeah. All right, we
Awesome.
can go. Also, I do want to go over the polls a little bit that I posted because they're finished now.
Oh,
Well,
right.
So
can
this will
we?
also.
Can we? I've actually got stuff in the show notes for next episode that we're filming tomorrow. Can we go over that tomorrow? Because I've
We
got
can,
polls.
but
I've
it
got
is
polls from
kind of
the
it is kind
Spotify.
of related to the event. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, so I would say
I go for
it
it.
should be now, since considering this one comes out before a week before the next one, and the polls has closed recently, just to keep it recent. And we'll still talk about other stuff as well. I'm sure we're having a guest tomorrow as well, so
Yeah.
we'll have plenty of time to talk about shit.
No, yeah, you go ahead.
Yeah, so polls have finished now for how you like the events. We can go over the first one is how do you find the Berserk challenge? Most people, 54% of people, thought it was well balanced, and 38% of people thought it was too hard, while one person was 8% of this in total. Thought it was too easy. I didn't vote on it myself. If I did, it would be a higher percentage. But most people think it's well balanced. As Mela said a little bit, we won't roll out that many of the super hard ones that I push out, but we will have them. So prepare for that. Duration for events, most people, 53%, wanted 14 days for the event it will still vary a little bit for all events. Maybe some will overlap a little bit, some will be longer, some will be shorter. It will vary, but most of them will probably stay at around 14 days long.
I would say you wouldn't expect anything less than 14 days going forward.
Yeah, probably not.
Some of the more difficult challenges will probably extend further than that.
Yeah, there might be like special events that only for that weekend, and then it will come. But those are challenges that will come back later on. So those are repeatable challenges. Those will probably be harder. So it's like a weekend special. But yeah, in general, most of them will be 14 days or longer. Otherwise, people were spread out between 7 days, 21 days, and 28 days or more. For choosing between if people want to compete for the title or everyone that participates should get a title, 81% of you chose that everyone should get a title.
Okay.
And
so I actually have an opinion on this one because I thought that your last event, your Valhalla, your Berserker challenge, kind of is how I want to structure these going forward. If you can kind of agree, where I think everyone participating should get an award, the role in the server or whatever it may be.
Yeah, as long as you do
pairing it up
the
with
base. So if you do the base thing of the event, you should get a title, and I agree with that.
But I do like your extra title for those who go the extra mile in the event. I think those are fantastic.
Yeah, and like we will probably also have some titles that probably have to be competed against people, so only one person can get them, because it gives people more. Most of them will get everyone to participate and manage to do the challenge or event will get a title, but sometimes it might just be a competition as well, just for some of them, because like if you get like the Valhalla, for example, where it's a competition of getting the highest kill streak, it's impossible to give everyone the title there because it's supposed to be the one that gets the highest kill streak. But yeah, in general, most people will get a title, I think. And then we have the last one about how often they want events. 56% of people wanted one per month. 38% of people wanted 2 per month, 6% wanted every 2 months, and no people wanted every 3 months or less. So they want them fairly often. How often? Like this one will kind of be maybe overlap a little bit, wouldn't it be, Miller?
I was hoping that we could, since it's a more like relaxed series, it would be kind of a filler in between some of our larger ones. So I'm hoping for now until we can kind of get a nice back catalog of events that we can kind of have ready to roll out, because we're still making a list and everything. I'm looking to release everything kind of once per month for a little while here, and then hoping to, once we can kind of redo events or have enough kind of in the bank, we can roll out 2 a month and have maybe like an overlap between one and another. That way, it's everyone on the server just has something to look forward to.
Yeah, I think that sounds good. Me and you will probably sit down one of the days and just talk to each other and try to cook up different events, so we have a little bit of a backlog and prepare different events, some harder, some easier, and so on.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, but yeah, in general, I do think we're gonna stick to 1 per month in general, just because 2 per month can be pretty hectic for planning and stuff. But sometimes when you have series like this, sometimes there will be overlapping and just kind of goes on continuously when there's the filler events.
I know. Look, I'm just one guy. I can only manage so much, okay?
Yeah.
I'm just
it's
one
not
guy.
that easy. It's surprisingly hard to come up with events and the rules for the events. Like I talked about in the last episode as well, is Berserker will come back, but when it comes back, it will probably be more filled out and it will probably be a lot harder. Both because of the gameplay, like how the war goes on, and also because of the more set rules for the challenge.
Oh yeah, trust me, I have things all fixed. Oh, believe me.
Yeah. We're perfect. We have everything planned all the time, especially
All
in
the
this
time.
episode.
Yep, ready to go.
Yeah, it's all scripted as well.
Yeah, everything's scripted. We have everything planned to the detail. But yeah, that's all the polls. Gone through them. So I think we're getting to the end of the episode.
Yeah. So, yeah, did want to say with the events, I do maybe at some point want to do like a fight night, like or some sort of live event where you can play with like the host of the podcast, and maybe it's a situation where like you pick our loadout or something. With that being said, I'm gonna say join the Discord if you haven't already. Submit your listener stories and your SIP names. Engage in the community challenges. Vote in the Spotify poll. Guess what? I realized recently I can put a poll on every single episode, and Mike and Lido did that for like 30 episodes, and I just started doing it. I'll cover that next week. But go vote. Even if you don't listen on Spotify, go to Spotify, vote in the poll. And also comment on Spotify, comment on YouTube. Let us know your opinions. Let us know what your top 5 overhyped items are. Maybe you could give us a full list. That's cool. Tell us how we're wrong. I want to hear it. And yeah, if you vote in the Spotify poll, leave a comment in Spotify and tell us why you chose that answer in the poll. With that being said, how do we end this, guys?
On the front line. See you on the front line, I would say.
Right.
See you on the front lines.
See you guys there.
Dun, dun, dun.
All Super Earth podcast content is based on the game Helldivers 2, created by Arrowhead Game Studios and published by Sony Interactive Entertainment.